what do you say to those who are in those moments who have, like you said in your last live, who have planted the seed, right? And they got this time to hold on to that seed to water their field or allow it to be dry because, like you said, it needs a dry season. How do you encourage people to count it all joy while they're waiting for that seed to sprout or that refinement process?
Wow. Wow. So like for me, when I talked on that live about, those dry seasons that you have to go through in order to mature, the only reason why anyone would trust the seed to grow in the midst of a dry season is if they knew for sure what was on the inside of that seed. So I think a lot of times, as men and women, we sometimes plant seeds because we saw somebody else doing it, or we go out to get the same crop or the same harvest that we saw somebody else getting. And when you're looking at it from the finished product, it always looks like something you need, something you want, something that's going to be, good for you and your family. Oh, that must be nice. Like that must be cool. He's working with pros, or he's running his own business. He works for himself. You don't even know like all the things that he or
Mhm.
she is going through. You know what I mean? Like all the nights they're not going to sleep when everybody else is getting their full 8 hours of sleep, or the days that they have to get up at 5 a.m. Like you don't know how their body feels. You don't know the relationships that they've had to sacrifice. They miss holidays. They don't have a social life. Like all those different things that they're going through in the back. You know what I mean? In the dark. And the only reason why they can hold on to that is because they know what's on the inside of their seed. But you're looking at their harvest, like you're looking at them, as they began producing a stalk, as the branches have begun to shoot out, or the fruit has begun to show itself. So, when I first started SOG as a teenager, I was just paying attention to the seed. Like I just paid attention to what I knew this was going to do for me. I didn't have anybody to tell me like this is how it worked for me, and you can get the same thing. Like there were no ads running on YouTube back then. There was no ads, on social media or anything. It was just like if you wanted something back then, you kind of had to either just make it from scratch, or maybe you did have someone that you could look to, but it was in books, it was in things that I guess were just accessible to us back then. So I would tell anybody right now, make sure the seed that you're planting is yours. Make sure you're not like falling for the carbon copy or the unauthentic seed that maybe you think you need because you saw it in somebody else's life. Like don't try to recreate what somebody else is doing simply because it just looks cool.